Have you ever found yourself wide awake at 3 a.m., lying in bed and wondering why you can't fall back asleep? You're not alone. This early morning wake-up is incredibly common, especially as we age. But it's not just a random quirk or something wrong with you. In fact, it can tell you a lot about your body, your health, and even your emotional life. In this video, we're diving into 5 powerful reasons why people, especially older adults, wake up in the early hours of the morning. These aren't surface-level tips. They are rooted in real biology, psychology, and the natural rhythms of aging that most people don't fully understand. Once you do, you may never look at sleep the same way again. 1. Decreased melatonin production. One of the most direct causes of early morning waking is a natural decline in melatonin, the hormone that regulates your sleep-wake cycle. Melatonin helps you fall asleep and stay asleep. When you're younger, your body produces a healthy, steady amount of it throughout the night. But as you age, that production drops. This decrease can mean that even if you fall asleep easily, your body may not have enough melatonin to keep you asleep. Around 2 o'clock or 3 a.m., levels may dip just enough to pull you gently toward wakefulness. Let's take Harold, for example. At 72, he considered himself a lifelong good sleeper. But lately, he wakes up like clockwork around 3:15 a.m., alert and not particularly anxious, just awake. When he learned it was tied to lower melatonin, and not something he was doing wrong, he felt relieved. He began making simple changes: darker curtains, fewer screens before bed, and evening walks. These helped reinforce his natural rhythm and reduce those early wake-ups. The takeaway? Understanding the role of melatonin helps you stop blaming yourself and start working with your body, not against it. 2. Advanced sleep phase. Your body's clock is resetting. As we get older, our internal clock, also known as a circadian rhythm, starts to shift forward. This is known as advanced sleep phase. You might start getting sleepy early in the evening, say around 8 o'clock or 9 p.m., and then wake up early, often between 3 o'clock and 5 a.m. It's not insomnia. Your body just thinks it's already had a full night's rest. Consider Charles, who's 68 and recently retired. Without a strict schedule, he eats dinner by 5:30 p.m., watches a little TV, and is asleep by 9 o'clock. By 3 a.m., he's fully rested and awake. Once he learned about advanced sleep phase, he adjusted his routine, staying up a bit later by reading or talking to his daughter before bed. That small change helped shift his sleep cycle and reduce those 3 a.m. wake-ups. So if you're waking early, it might simply be because your sleep window is shifting. And once you know that, you can adjust your lifestyle accordingly. 3. Physical discomfort or health interruptions. Aging often brings a host of subtle physical issues. Nothing dramatic, but just enough to disturb your sleep. These include things like arthritis, nighttime acid reflux, back pain, or even something as simple as needing to use a bathroom more often. For example, joint stiffness from arthritis may not bother you much during the day, but after several hours in one position, the discomfort can build. Or acid reflux may flare up at night, especially if you've eaten too close to bedtime. And then there's nocturia, the need to urinate at night, which becomes more common with age. The bladder becomes less elastic and signals urgency more quickly. At 3 a.m., in a quiet room, that sensation becomes impossible to ignore. Once you're up and moving, your body shifts into a lighter state, making it harder to drift back to sleep. These small health challenges don't always require medication, but they do require awareness. Paying attention to the signals your body sends can help you minimize disruption and reclaim more restful nights. 4. Emotional and psychological factors. It's not just physical changes that wake us up. Emotional and psychological shift can also play a big role, especially in later life. As we age, we often have more time alone with our thoughts. Worries about health, family, finances, or simply reflecting on life can surface most clearly in the stillness of night. In fact, 3 a.m. is a time when our minds are more vulnerable. Brain chemistry at that hour, when melatonin is low and cortisol begins to rise, can make our thoughts feel heavier, even if they're the same concerns we brushed off during the day. This doesn't mean you're overly anxious or depressed. It just means your mind is doing what it's wired to do, process emotions when there's finally peace and quiet. That said, journaling before bed, Practicing mindfulness or talking to a therapist can help unload these thoughts before sleep, reducing the likelihood of emotional wake-ups. 5. Lighter sleep and reduce sleep need. Many people don't realize this, but the amount of sleep we need actually decreases slightly with age. Older adults spend less time in deep sleep, the most restorative phase, and more time in light sleep, which is easier to wake from. That means that even small changes, like a sound outside, a change in temperature, or a stray thought, can wake you more easily than they would have in your 20s or 30s. But it also means that you might not need as much sleep as you used to. So if you go to bed at 9 o'clock and wake up at 3 o'clock, your body might be saying, "I'm done," rather than fight it. Many older adults benefit from adopting a segmented sleep schedule, 2 shorter sleep periods broken up by a quiet hour of reading or relaxation, or simply learning to enjoy quiet early mornings with a gentle routine instead of stressing about being awake. Final thoughts. Waking up at 3 a.m. isn't a failure. It's not a sign that something's wrong. More often than not, it's your body's way of adjusting to a new rhythm. Whether it's hormonal changes, physical discomfort, emotional reflection, or just lighter sleep, each cause is rooted in natural, understandable changes. The key is understanding and adapting. And when you do, you stop seeing your sleep as broken and start seeing it as evolving. So if you ever ask yourself, why now? At 3 a.m., remember, your body is speaking. And now, you know how to listen.